There are stunning places on Earth that almost no one ever visits. Hidden in deep forests, atop remote mountains, or along untouched coastlines, they have remained pristine for generations. Their isolation allows the landscape to evolve naturally, shaped only by the rhythm of nature. This quiet and rare beauty makes them more special than any well-known destination. Join us in discovering these unseen wonders, places so beautiful you will want to be one of the few who ever witness them. Pilón del Diablo is known as one of the strongest waterfalls in the Andes, with water dropping from about 260 to 300 feet, creating huge pressure and constant mist. Its force comes from high mountain meltwater, allowing the flow to reach about 40,000 to 55,000 gallons each second and stay powerful all year. The surrounding terrain is shaped by basalt, formed at least 1 to 2 million years ago, creating steep rock walls and deep, rugged valleys. Continuous moisture covers more than 70% of the rock surfaces, with moss lichens and ferns forming a thick green layer. The waterfall produces sound levels above 90 decibels and often creates rainbows in the morning because of the heavy spray. The close contact with the falling water and the light ground vibration create a memorable experience for anyone facing this natural force. Tugela Falls is known as one of the tallest waterfalls on Earth, with a total height of about 3,110 feet, formed by 5 connected drops. During the rainy season, its flow can rise sharply and reach almost 50,000 gallons per minute, creating echoes that stretch across the deep valley. In the 19th century, Explorers described it as a step-by-step falling column, showing a layered structure unlike a single straight waterfall. Many traditional communities believe the mist carries messages from the sky because the sound can travel more than 6 miles under the right conditions. On windy days, more than 70% of the water turns into mist, making the falls almost disappear, especially during dry periods. Yet one short rain, lasting about 20 minutes, can bring the full waterfall back, instantly creating a dramatic moment many trekkers consider one of South Africa's greatest experiences. Austfontein appears as a massive ancient ice cap spanning thousands of square miles where ice thicker than 2,600 feet has accumulated over hundreds of thousands of years. Standing before an ice wall stretching to the horizon creates a feeling of meeting Earth's most primal force, where time and space merge into absolute silence. Coastal walls, rising 60 to 90 feet, form towering white cliffs, where collapsing ice sends echoes across the frozen sea. Beneath the compressed blue layers lies enough stored water to raise global sea levels by several inches if it were to melt completely. Deep ice cores preserve ancient air bubbles from the last ice age, turning Austfontein into a climatic black box that records tens of thousands of years of atmospheric history. From above, mile-long fractures and massive ice waves reveal continuous movement across the surface shaped by the natural forces of the Arctic. Gauchiling stands out with steep red Dangxia slopes in Hunan, where its mountain setting creates a landscape that is instantly recognizable. The red sandstone terrain shows deep cuts and bare surfaces shaped by long tectonic uplift and strong erosion that define the area. Its foundation began as an ancient sediment basin, where thick layers of red sand and gravel preserved traces of early environments. For local residents, Gaoqiling was once only grazing hills until social media spread images of knife-edge ridges and red-blue lakes, turning it into a new source of income for transport, homestays, and food services. The site spans about 7 square miles, with forest cover near 95%, creating a sharp contrast between red rock and green vegetation. Narrow ridges only a few feet wide, and its rapid rise as a destination highlight how people connect with rare geological landscapes. Socotra is an isolated island in the Indian Ocean where more than 20 million years of separation created a landscape that feels dramatically different from the rest of Earth. Its exceptional endemism, with over 300 unique plant species and nearly 90% of reptiles found nowhere else, forms a natural evolutionary laboratory. Many species preserve ancient genetic traits from past climate eras, giving the island organisms shapes and structures unlike anything on other continents. The dragon's blood trees, with wide disc-shaped crowns, optimize shade and make the region resemble a botanical community from another planet. Numerous plants and animals show survival patterns shaped by extreme dryness and long-term environmental isolation across millions of years. With its geological separation and unmatched biological uniqueness, Socotra offers travelers the vivid feeling of entering a world operating outside familiar natural logic. At Mount Fanjing, located in Guizhou, China, and rising above 8,430 feet, you will see massive isolated rock pillars standing like sky markers amid clouds and drifting mist. Huge stone formations emerging from ancient forest and rolling fog turn the summit into a rare landmark shaped between earth and sky. Multi-layered clouds passing across the cliffs make visitors feel as if they are floating in mid-air beyond ordinary perception. The UNESCO-protected zone spans more than 219 square miles, preserving ancient ecosystems and rare metamorphic rock unchanged for millions of years. With spiritual ties to Maitreya, the mountain has long been a place where seekers look for silence, clarity, and personal awakening. Its sheer rock faces merging with dense drifting clouds create the impression of a summit breaking away from the earth, offering an unforgettable visual experience for any visitor. If you seek a raw primordial landscape, Fuerteventura is the oldest island in the Canary chain, with drought-carved volcanic terrain and red, black-yellow surfaces resembling a Martian field. Its geological age of more than 20 million years exposes deep, eroded layers, revealing ancient volcanic cores rarely seen on younger islands. Positioned along a powerful dry wind corridor from North Africa, the island experiences intense erosion cycles driven by long-lasting high-speed air currents. These winds reshape slopes and hard basalt surfaces over decades, producing curved ridges and weathered forms shaped by relentless atmospheric motion. A geomorphology survey in 2022 documented more than 180 fissures longer than 0.6 miles created by severe ground contraction after 30 years of minimal rainfall. A rock belt older than 21 million years has been recognized by UNESCO as a rare stratigraphic archive, making Fuerteventura a key natural record of Atlantic volcanic origins. Wai'o Tapu Thermal Wonderland opens as a multicolored geothermal zone where heat from magma about 2 to 3 miles deep warms groundwater into vivid pools, bubbling streams, and constantly active boiling mud. Its reputation comes from rare mineral colors, where sulfur, arsenic, antimony, manganese, iron, and silica tint the surface into strong yellow, red, orange, and green, created by natural chemical reactions. The landscape is unique because more than 20 geothermal features hold water between 120 and 212 degrees Fahrenheit, making each pool shift color based on dissolved minerals. Hot springs release carbon dioxide that forms hundreds of bubbles every second, causing the water surface to move gently and reveal the strong heat flow beneath the crust. Hydrogen sulfide gas creates the clear egg smell, staying mostly low but capable of causing slight dizziness, and remains one of the few gases that escape naturally all year. For visitors, Waiʻōtapu becomes a rare place to watch heat minerals and gas combine to form a living geothermal scene that feels unusual and difficult to believe is real. Lake Paisupok is a rare volcanic freshwater lake in Indonesia, known for its unusual clarity, deep blue color, and surrounding karst limestone that makes the scene feel almost unreal. The water is so clear that people can see the bottom at about 98 feet deep, thanks to very low suspended solids and natural filtration through limestone. Its strong blue tone comes from calcium and magnesium in the limestone, which keep blue light inside the water more than other colors. In local culture, Lake Paisupok is seen as a symbol of purity, linked to many stories about the quiet and mysterious beauty of the deep water. On some rock edges, tiny algae grow in round patches about 2 inches wide, and their density is used to judge how clean the water is. Today, Lake Paisupok is a popular place for swimming and free diving because the surface is calm, there are no strong currents, and underwater visibility is extremely clear. Wave Rock stands out as a giant granite wall about 49 feet high and nearly 360 feet long, shaped like a perfect curling ocean wave in a dry landscape. Its surface, formed over roughly 2.7 billion years as rainwater dissolved minerals and created long natural color bands. In local tradition, this curved formation is seen as the mark of the rainbow serpent, a spirit linked to the creation of rivers and hills. The strong curve makes many visitors feel as if a massive wave dozens of feet tall has been frozen at the moment before it collapses. Scientists have identified more than 14 minerals contributing to the brown, yellow, and black stripes across the rock face. Through its great age, unusual shape, and natural painted colors, Wave Rock has become a global symbol of how weathering can carve forms that defy geometric logic. Dr. Cataracts creates an instant impact with a vertical drop of about 2,530 feet, making it one of the strongest natural waterfalls on Earth. Geological studies show that its water comes from seasonal rain and underground sources flowing over sedimentary rock formed millions of years ago. Its late international recognition in 2002 adds value because such a massive landscape remained untouched for so long. Strong winds can push the upper flow sideways for hundreds of feet, making the falling water look like a shifting liquid curtain in the air. Sound carrying for more than 1 mile together with steep rocky walls gives Dr. Cataracts a powerful sense of scale and raw natural force. Ball's Pyramid is a giant volcanic rock spire about 1,844 feet high and less than 984 feet wide, rising almost vertically from the Pacific Ocean, and known for its sharp peak and extreme isolation. This rock mass is the remnant of an ancient volcano that emerged from a sea floor nearly 2,000 feet deep, forming a narrow triangular pillar with almost no flat surfaces to stand on. Even though the volcano is extinct, waves and ocean winds still erode it slowly, and each decade new cracks, broken pieces, and small gullies appear on its steep faces. From the 1980s to the 1990s, climbing Ball's Pyramid was completely banned and only reopened under strict permits after more than 2 decades, making it one of the most tightly protected rock formations in Australia. In 2001, scientists unexpectedly rediscovered the insect species Dryococelus australis, once believed lost for more than 80 years, surviving only in a single rock crevice beneath a rare shrub. Ball's Pyramid is closed to mass tourism and receives only specially approved research teams, so it remains almost perfectly untouched and stands as a symbol of natural power existing far from everyday human life. Itambazinho Canyon, a massive continental incision dropping nearly 2,360 feet and stretching about 3.6 miles along the plateau. From the rim, you see forest waterfalls and fog merging inside a vertical abyss, reminding anyone how small human scale truly is. Its knife-straight walls result from erosion rates of only about 20 feet per million years, proving extraordinary stability in ancient rock. The stream at the bottom is compressed between near-vertical walls, forming a sequence of waterfalls and rapids shaped by long-term trapped energy. Sitting around 4,600 feet, the canyon holds a rare transition ecosystem where cool highland climate meets mixed forest and grassland. Itambazinho stands as a powerful reminder that nature can carve continents into permanent lines, showing how brief human time is beside geological time. Mount Popa is a lone volcanic mass rising from the plains of Myanmar, about 4,981 feet high, and now seen as an important pilgrimage site. This volcano formed more than 250,000 years ago, leaving a solid magma core and exposed basalt and trachyte layers that reveal its eruption history. Its height near 5,000 feet and porous rock structure create their own climate layers and allow Mount Popa to store millions of gallons of groundwater each year. Religious buildings use the steep rock faces directly as foundations, so the structures seem to cling to the volcanic cliffs and merge with the land. A strong temperature contrast between base and summit often produces small local clouds wrapping around the volcano, even when the wider sky stays completely clear. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people climb from the hot plains to the cool summit of Mount Popa to pray for peace and feel protected by an ancient mountain. Danakil Depression is considered one of the harshest and strangest places on Earth, with superheated ground, salt lakes, acid springs, and many colored sulfur fields that stay active. Its surface is mainly salt sulfur chlorides and iron oxides, creating yellow, green, brown, and white layers, unlike any other landscape. The whole region lies in a major tectonic depression with an average elevation around 410 feet below sea level, making it one of the lowest points on the planet. The scenery feels unreal, with broken ground, sulfur hexagon fields, gentle boiling acid pools, and hot gas rising from deep cracks like the breath of the earth. Many areas release a strong, rotten egg smell from hydrogen sulfide, so visitors often wear masks to avoid irritation. Travelers often describe Danakil Depression as another planet, a place where extreme colors, intense heat, and twisted terrain create an experience far from normal Earth. Safaranga Cold Desert is a rare high cold desert where bright silver dunes meet dry, freezing air and the wide sky of northern Pakistan. At an elevation of about 7,546 feet above sea level, the layered air makes night temperatures fall quickly and feel sharply cold. Its sand is rich in silicate minerals, so it reflects strong light, keeping a near silver color with very little organic matter and changing little between seasons. In history, this cold, sandy area worked as a testing ground for expedition teams who recorded long journeys through strong wind and harsh climate. Local stories say the wind of Safaranga carries memories through the mountains, turning the desert into a spiritual space linked with shared community memory. Today, visitors entering the desert notice an almost complete silence and feel cut off from modern rhythm, with only sand and wind around them. Fort Monroe rises on the Suleiman Range at nearly 6,600 feet, where ancient seafloor layers were lifted upward and folded into powerful, compressed ridges. From the high plateau, you can see the horizon dropping toward the Indus lowlands for dozens of miles, marking a sharp divide between hot plains and cooler mountain air. The gray and black limestone strata are remnants of a Cretaceous to Paleocene sea floor, pushed upward through more than 20 million years of deformation. Steep folds and fractured slopes reflect over 190 miles of crustal shortening, proving you are standing on a continent once squeezed like folded paper. The mountain road, with its 8 steel bridges cutting across broken ridges, shows how humans adapt to tilted terrain that refuses any straight line. Together, these elements make Fort Monroe a rare place where continental collision is visible in geological time, yet still felt within the span of human experience. Untouched sinkhole is a collapsed limestone cave roughly 66 feet deep and about 164 feet wide, forming a giant open-air shaft in southeastern Australia. It began as a limestone cavern, slowly dissolved by water until the roof lost stability and fell inward, leaving a broad, open bowl-shaped sinkhole. In 1886, landowner James Untouched added soil-planted trees and built terraces, turning a bare geological cavity into an ordered, sunken garden. By the 1970s, the same sinkhole had become a dumping ground before cleanup efforts restored it and shifted public perception from wasteland to valued landmark. Standing on the floor, the roughly 164-foot diameter frames the entire view with rock walls and greenery like a natural well. Untouched sinkhole is regarded as one of Australia's most successful examples of karst landscape restoration, demonstrating the cultural and ecological value a sinkhole can achieve. Arco del Tiempo creates a striking first impression with a natural stone arch nearly 590 feet high and more than 900 feet wide, forming a space that looks like a cathedral carved by nature. The arch was shaped from Cretaceous limestone, about 65 to 90 million years old, slowly hollowed by river erosion over an extremely long period. In local tradition, this massive structure is viewed as a gateway of time, where ancestors move between the human world and the sacred realm. Standing beneath the center, the falling light and strong echo make the place feel like a living geological chamber, unlike the landscape around it. Trekking visitors often spend half a day reaching the arch, but the moment they see the huge stone roof is always described as unbelievable. Gargantas del Alcántara is a volcanic river canyon in Italy where lava and water created massive basalt walls that show rare geological patterns. It formed about 300,000 years ago when hot basalt met cold water and contracted quickly, producing sharp, high rock faces. Several basalt columns tilt at about 45 degrees, forming wave-like layers that are uncommon in most basalt formations around the world. Local traditions describe the canyon as a divided land, symbolizing the contrast between heated earth and permanently cold water. The cold river at the base keeps the water clear and continues carving natural grooves through the basalt walls over long periods. For visitors, Gargantas del Alcántara is seen as a living geological record, showing how natural forces shape and break landscapes without stopping. Peninsula Valdés is a large peninsula in Patagonia, known worldwide as one of South America's most important marine wildlife sanctuaries, especially for whales, seals, and other seasonal species. Its sedimentary base formed about 15 million years ago, revealing long bands of ancient rock that record the history of shifting seas and drylands. The surrounding waters include areas deeper than 656 feet, allowing cold, nutrient-rich currents to rise and support a wide range of marine life. The limestone plateau receives only about 7 inches of rain each year, creating a dry landmass that strongly contrasts with the nutrient-rich sea beside it. Coastal winds can reach about 56 miles per hour, sending thin layers of sand drifting low so the ground appears to move with the gusts. The first feeling when arriving in Valdez is a vast sense of emptiness, where cold land, strong wind, and deep sea combine to show how small a person truly is. Yelyu Geopark appears as a rocky headland extending more than 1.7 miles into the East China Sea, with strange landforms shaped over millions of years. This place erodes at an average speed of about 0.2 inch each year, allowing the rock shapes to slowly change over decades. More than 300 formations belong to mushroom rocks, honeycomb rocks, and pedestal rocks, forming a landscape rich in scientific value. Records from the 18th century describe these shapes as creations of the sea's breath, showing how people once explained the link between stone and water. Visitors often say the walk here feels like moving across another planet because the formations shift in appearance with every direction. With more than 3 million visitors each year, Yelyu Geopark stands among Taiwan's most visited natural sites and holds strong geological importance. Algar do Carvão makes a strong first impression with a natural volcanic opening dropping nearly 328 feet, where sunlight falls directly into ancient rock. This lava tube formed about 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, leaving a rare vertical chamber found in very few volcanic systems. Inside are cooled basalt walls and uncommon silica formations that help scientists observe how minerals crystallized after the lava retreated. The almost 100% humidity and moss-covered walls create the feeling of a large natural light well, both raw and perfectly shaped. Today, Algar do Carvão is carefully managed for research and limited visits, preserving its natural form and showing how a once fiery environment can transform into a calm geological space. It solidified inside a volcanic vent and remained after the outer cone eroded away over millions of years. The stone tower rises about 2,176 feet with a slope near 90 degrees, making it one of the steepest volcanic walls on the planet. The base holds unusually dense native insect populations, including several species found only within a few hundred feet of the rock. These isolated conditions make the area a clear example of ecological separation and species evolution in a humid tropical environment. For modern travelers, Pico Chao Grande becomes a rare vertical viewpoint, delivering the sense of a volcanic shape that feels unreal yet stands clearly in real space. Ciudad Encantada formed from Cretaceous limestone about 90 to 100 million years old, where slightly acidic rainwater widened natural cracks into deep channels, cavities, and unusual stone columns. Hundreds of small pits shaped by carbon dioxide connect into narrow networks, showing erosion of only a few millimeters each century. By the 19th century, European geologists described the area as an ideal academic model for studying karst and long-term limestone decay. The landscape stands out, with mushroom-shaped blocks, tilted pillars, and balanced stones resting on very small bases that seem impossible to remain stable. Its porous rock texture and natural tones have even been used to simulate Martian terrain in scientific studies. Ciudad Encantada carries a symbolic meaning about the power of time, showing how nature shapes solid rock into forms that defy ordinary logic. Mount Yasur draws strong attention as one of the few volcanoes that has erupted continuously for 800 years while remaining safely viewable from the crater rim. Its crater measures about 1,100 feet across, with 3 active vents producing pressure bursts that travel more than 5 miles. Basaltic lava reaches about 1,050 degrees Celsius, erupting in strombolian bursts that reveal moving magma without creating large surface flows. The ground around the cone holds a 12-inch layer of ash and light pumice, forming a gray, shifting landscape shaped by each new explosion. Average ash columns rise about 420 feet, with red magma light reflecting on the dark sky to create strong visual effects. With non-stop activity and rare close-range visibility, Mount Yasur stands as a living symbol of Earth's continuous cycle of creation and destruction. Jericho Aquara welcomes you with a vivid mix of ocean sand and constant wind, where fine white dunes shift several feet each year under strong coastal gusts. The silica-rich sand creates a bright reflective surface, giving the area a desert-like appearance right beside the sea. One of its most striking events is the formation of temporary freshwater pools between dunes during the rainy season, which last only a few months before evaporating. Jericho Aquara receives more than 300 sunny days each year, giving the ocean clear, strong colors and making the region ideal for sky watching. The fine sand and intense light have even been used by researchers to simulate certain extraterrestrial terrains. For travelers, Jericoacoara is a landscape in motion where wind, sand, and water continually reshape the scenery while keeping its distinctly raw character. Kelimutu is remarkable because its summit at 5,377 feet holds 3 volcanic lakes that constantly change color, creating one of the rarest geological sites on Earth. Each lake sits inside a crater about 165 feet deep and contains different minerals, causing the water to shift from turquoise to dark red or yellow very quickly. The lake water is highly acidic, with a pH as low as 0.5, showing intense reactions between volcanic minerals and hydrogen sulfide gas. The surrounding rock surface carries oxidized mineral layers, forming changing red, yellow, black, and white patterns as conditions shift. Morning heat rising from the craters mixes with sunlight, making all 3 lakes glow brightly and producing strong, unpredictable visual effects. Its unusual landscape often appears in international geological studies as a clear example of chemically active volcanic lakes. Sviatsk is an ancient island town at the meeting of 2 major Russian rivers, known for being prefabricated and then reassembled in only 28 days in 1551. Thick sediment beneath the settlement keeps wooden foundations stable in harsh weather, while humidity between 65 and 85% creates heavy morning fog around the shoreline. Many wooden buildings are more than 450 years old, using traditional joinery without metal nails, so the timber can expand and contract seasonally without major cracking. From a distance, the town appears as an isolated block of architecture surrounded by open water, and in winter snow and ice turn it into a white, floating fortress. During the 1930s, its isolated position and open surroundings made it a testing ground for early Soviet aerial photography experiments. Today, visitors often describe the experience as stepping into another layer of time because dense historic architecture and mainly pedestrian movement keep the island unusually quiet. Fuerteventura is considered the oldest island in the Canary Islands, formed by volcanic activity more than 20 million years ago and showing exposed geology across its wide surface. Its extremely dry landscape, strong winds, and wide sand dunes create a scene that feels almost unreal, with strong contrasts of volcanic colors. Traditional buildings use volcanic stone and white lime to control heat, showing how people adapted to the harsh, dry climate through many generations. The lack of natural forests creates an open 360-degree view, making the entire island feel like a giant geological map. Certain plant species grow directly on hot basalt, thanks to deep roots and strong drought resistance, and several of them are now protected. Visitors often describe Fuerteventura as a desert in the Atlantic, where long walks across the sand dunes become its most memorable experience. Gyumri Ridge is one of the northern Caucasus mountain chains, forming a stone framework around the interior Dagestan plateau. One major canyon stretches nearly 33 miles and drops more than 6,300 feet, creating a rare and sharply vertical natural face. Turquoise water at the bottom contrasts with dry grey rock on the slopes, producing a landscape that feels unusual yet completely shaped by geology. In the 19th century, several military campaigns relied on the steep ground and deep cuts of Gimri Ridge as a natural defensive barrier. These layers of geology, history, and terrain together give Gimri Ridge long-lasting value and a distinct place in the wider region. Namaqualand covers over 19,305 square miles in northwestern South Africa, where a harsh, semi-desert unexpectedly forms the biological core of the succulent Karoo. It is the only desert on Earth officially recognized as a global biodiversity hotspot, showing how life adapts under extreme water scarcity. More than 6,000 plant species, including uniquely shaped succulents, reveal an evolutionary system refined through millions of years. Its richness, far beyond what a dry land suggests, shows that Namaqualand is not only seasonal beauty, but a record of nature's long-term resilience. With about 17% of its flora classified as threatened, the region raises questions about how humanity protects fragile evolutionary heritage. Visiting Namaqualand allows you to walk through sudden flower fields, touch ancient soils, and feel how life finds a way to endure. Semela Monastery creates an immediate sense of awe through its position attached to a steep cliff rising several hundred feet and appearing suspended above the valley. Rooms, stairs, and corridors, carved directly into solid rock, reveal construction precision that seems impossible given the harsh mountain terrain. Moist clouds often sweep across the stone walls, causing the surfaces to shift color with the weather, as if the monastery changes form with the mountain. When you stand in its courtyard, you feel the overwhelming height and open space below, creating a mix of fear and excitement unlike any ordinary viewpoint. The high altitude creates a strong feeling of separation from the world below, turning the journey upward into an experience that pushes you beyond familiar limits. This combination of height-living rock and long history makes Sumela Monastery one of the most visually striking destinations in Turkey. Giolla Lagoon is a natural rock pool beside the Aegean Sea, formed over about 4,000 years and set only 15 to 23 feet from the open water. Its tall limestone walls and bright stone surfaces create shifting colors from light turquoise to deep cobalt, depending on the sun. Swimming close to the rock edge reveals stacked geological layers that feel like pages of an ancient coastal record. During strong swells, the pool's water level can rise nearly 1 foot, producing a rare effect where the lagoon appears to lift itself. Locals consider it a calm refuge because the water stays still even when offshore waves reach 6 to 10 feet in height. Visiting Giolla lets you walk across warm limestone touch, clear deep water, and feel how nature shapes a space, both powerful and pure. Wolf Creek Crater, from above, looks like a giant cosmic eye, imprinted on the red desert, making it known as one of Australia's most striking impact sites. This impact crater formed when an iron meteor weighing tens of thousands of tons hit the ground about 120,000 years ago, releasing massive force. The crater spans nearly 0.5 miles across, but the floor visible today is filled with thick layers of sand and sediment gathered over time. Beneath that surface lies a far deeper original structure, showing that the first impact was far more powerful than what visitors now see. It is also one of the few craters where scientists recovered real meteor fragments on site, giving the location significant scientific value. Despite its clear shape, visible even from satellite images, the crater only gained scientific attention after an aerial survey in the 20th century, adding mystery to its presence. Colca Canyon makes a strong first impact with a depth exceeding 10,000 feet, creating the feeling of Earth being split open by massive rising walls. From the canyon rim, the exposed geological layers unfold in long, colored bands, making the entire landscape appear like an enormous open textbook. River stones at the bottom reveal that an ancient river once carved downward at 2 to 4 millimeters each year, forming a vertical cut deeper than most canyons. Strong winds sweep across the high rock faces, producing shifting air movements that make visitors feel as if the canyon structure is slowly moving. More than 120 archaeological sites, including stone tools and old farming traces, show humans lived here for over 3,000 years, despite extreme terrain. When you stand near the cliff edge and look into the deep vertical drop, the overwhelming scale triggers an instinctive tension, creating a powerful, unforgettable experience. Garni Gorge opens as a deep mountain corridor where towering hexagonal basalt columns create the impression of a landscape arranged with impossible precision. Ancient lava that cooled about 3 to 5 million years ago formed near perfect pillars, rising in dense, vertical layers along the cliffs. Standing inside the gorge, you can see basalt columns averaging 98 to 164 feet, with some reaching nearly 197 feet, like natural stone towers. Their dark grey surfaces tinted with blue tones form a cold, sharp wall, contrasting strongly with the softer terrain above. Exposed fractures across the columns make the site a natural guide for studying crust movement, as each crack reflects long-term geological rhythms. Several column groups curve into fan shapes, as if bent while still soft, showing a rare deformation pattern seldom seen in basalt formations worldwide. Blue Lake, also called the High Blue Lake, creates a strong impression with its ink-dark blue water and a steady sulfur smell throughout the year. Modern surveys record its most reliable depth at 863 feet, and experts believe the karst structure continues to descend beyond current knowledge. The lake has no inflow or outflow streams, and all water movement depends on pressure inside the underground karst network, forming a rare closed circulation. Local people believe sharp objects should never disturb the surface because the lake connects to sacred rock chambers hidden deep below the ancient mountain base. In 2018, a diver reached 656 feet and still found only a widening dark funnel, making Blue Lake a unique place for photographers seeking the deepest blue in the Caucasus. Valle de las Animas appears above 12,000 feet as a vertical stone valley where thousands of thin pillars stretch for miles across the cold plateau. These 100 to 230-foot formations were shaped from ancient mudrock and clay as wind, rain, and floods carved away weaker layers. Changing sunlight turns their surfaces from gray-yellow to deep orange, creating the illusion that the entire valley ignites and cools within minutes. Strong winds move through the narrow gaps, producing long, haunting echoes that inspired the valley's name while remaining fully explainable by acoustics. With almost no large trees, every outline stays exposed, making the human pillar scale so extreme that it disrupts normal sense of size. Walking through this terrain reveals how geology, time, and climate combine to form a landscape that feels beyond logic, yet remains entirely real within the Andes. Xiaojiatiankeng is known as the deepest karst sinkhole on Earth, reaching about 2,172 feet, with a mouth nearly 2,000 feet wide, forming a rare vertical space. This structure developed from limestone, older than 150 million years, after a long collapse process, creating a giant chamber, almost fully separated from the surface. Humidity stays close to 100%, supporting moss ferns and moisture-loving plants, so the entire floor functions like an independent microclimate. Trees at the bottom rise to around 130 feet, forming a dense, dark zone that strongly contrasts with the brighter open surface above. When you arrive here, you will experience the feeling of standing at the rim, observing the massive opening and facing a scale far beyond expectation. Waimangu Volcanic Valley is considered the youngest volcanic valley ever observed by humans. Born after an eruption in 1886, tore apart the older system. Its landscape is little more than 130 years old, so lakes, streams, and thermal basins are still forming, eroding, and shifting in real time. Black, green, and sulfur yellow hot waters, combined with heavy steam, make the valley feel like a gigantic geothermal engine running beneath the surface. In some areas, carbon dioxide-rich vents create carbon dioxide traps that prevent birds from flying low, showing the surface still connects directly to volcanic forces below. Certain coal-black streams owe their color not to toxins, but to manganese minerals reacting with heat, forming a rare natural volcanic ink. Early 20th century visitors watched boiling fountains shooting several hundred feet into the air, phenomena that have now stopped, proving the entire valley remains a living, changing structure. Diskit Monastery sits at nearly 10,300 feet, where a cold desert landscape meets snowbound Himalayan ridges, creating a world separated from the rest of India. It stands on an uplifted Himalayan block, shaped by continental collision, that pushed ancient rock layers thousands of feet upward over millions of years. Steep grey cliffs carved by wind and sand give the mountainside a sharp, fortified look, as if a natural citadel emerged from the barren valley. Inside the monastery, thick stone walls preserve 14th century murals and scriptures that have survived extreme Himalayan winters for generations. The surrounding region once controlled major trade routes, making Diskit both a spiritual center and a strategic lookout for centuries. From its open courtyard, you see a vast, silent valley that contrasts calm devotion with overwhelming scale, turning Diskit into a rare anchor of spirit in the high mountains. Laguna Rosa de Torrevieja impresses with a deep pink lake stretching for several miles, where natural salinity can reach 350 grams per liter, creating an extreme European ecosystem. Dunaliella salina algae and halophilic bacteria produce carotenoids as a survival response, turning the entire lake into a pink mirror visible clearly from above. Salinity levels 20 to 25% higher than the ocean keep the surface almost perfectly flat, producing strong reflections that erase the horizon on calm days. Salt crystals along the shore form hexagon shapes and glass-like fragments created by intense evaporation in the semi-arid climate. Since Roman times, locals have read the lake's pink tone to judge salt quality, making its color a cultural knowledge passed through generations. For visitors watching the lake shift from pastel pink to soft violet at sunset creates a surreal moment that feels like standing at the edge of another world. When you enter Quiver Tree Forest, more than 250 giant aloe trees, reaching nearly 20 feet, rise like golden pillars across the vast desert floor. Their spongy, hollow trunks store large amounts of water, allowing them to endure for centuries, even in environments with almost no soil. Lightning-shaped branching and silver bark reflect afternoon light, making the forest glow like illuminated stone columns above the red desert. Wide, shallow roots stretch several meters to capture moisture from the air, proving extraordinary adaptation on bare granite terrain. Local people once used the hollow branches as arrow quivers, embedding the species into the cultural identity of ancient desert life. Under moonlight, the bright bark reflects a pale glow, turning the forest into a fossil-like army guarding the desert and forming one of Africa's most distinctive landscapes. El Tatio sits at about 14,170 feet as a vast geothermal field where stretched crust vents heat into the cold Andean desert. This 11.6 square mile area contains more than 80 active geysers, representing nearly 8% of all known geysers worldwide. The arch at around 180 feet creates a natural passage toward open sea, where light fades quickly, turning the space into a dark water corridor. Fossilized corals found across the lower layers reveal that the site once belonged to a massive ancient reef thriving thousands of years ago. When you arrive here, the moment of looking into the deep, dark center feels like facing the ocean's eye, blending beauty, mystery, and unforgettable tension. Jawa Fort rises in the desert like a massive stone barrier built from 40 round towers reaching about 98 feet and forming walls longer than 1,500 feet. Its dense, fired bricks withstand hot winds of 40 to 60 miles per hour and keep the structure intact after centuries of sand erosion. Sun-exposed walls reach surface temperatures above 120 degrees Fahrenheit, making the fortress glow a deep red at midday. The wide base and narrow top tower design disperses wind pressure and keeps the entire defensive ring intact despite constant environmental stress. Some ancient bricks still show the fingerprints of builders, thanks to the extremely dry climate preserving details for hundreds of years. Standing beneath the towering walls, visitors feel old engineering, harsh nature, and long history blending into a landscape found nowhere else. Putangarua Pinnacles is a rare forest of stone towers where hard rock forms the cap and softer layers stay below, yet the pillars remain stable for millions of years. Here, selective erosion is so strong that it removes the soft material around and leaves stone columns reaching about 330 feet without collapsing. In Maori tradition, the straight and still shape of these pillars turns the area into a gateway to the world of ancestors, like a stone corridor of spirits. Erosion grooves run almost perfectly vertical along the pillars, which is extremely rare in soft sediment landscapes that usually collapse and create very chaotic surfaces. A single rainstorm of about 30 minutes can wash away soft layers on the surface and change the visible faces of the pillars after each storm season. When hikers walk beneath towers that almost cover the sky, they experience extreme geology, local legend, and the force of time in one unreal landscape. Caño Cristales reveals bright red, yellow, green, and purple tones from the plant Macarenia clavigera, creating a one-of-a-kind, many-colored river that captures attention instantly. The river runs about 62 miles across ancient rocks formed more than 1.2 billion years ago, giving the whole landscape an unreal and rare appearance. Explorers in the 20th century described it as a special geological corridor because its rock age is far older than many places in South America. Many sections are only 1 to 3 feet deep, allowing sunlight to reach the bottom and helping the plant grow and produce strong red color. Scientists have recorded more than 40 tones of red that change with mineral levels, creating a short 3 to 4 month cycle of shifting colors. The most vivid season lasts from June to November, when the whole river glows in many colors and gives visitors a near surreal visual experience. Jiuzhaigou Valley is known worldwide for water that shifts color through minerals and light, creating a scientific and visual landscape found in very few places on Earth. Its lakes were formed by travertine that built up over thousands of years, allowing the water to reflect turquoise, blue-green, or pale yellow, depending on light and angle. The valley spans elevations from about 6,560 to 14,760 feet, keeping a cool, moist climate that sharpens clarity and color. The water is clear enough to show fallen trees more than 26 feet deep, preserved by minerals like natural samples on the lake floor. Some lakes keep the same tone all year, proving unusually stable chemical conditions in this high-altitude travertine system. Visitors describe Jiuzhaigou as the largest natural color palette in Asia, where even small changes in light or minerals create a new shade and transform the entire scene. Anaga Rural Park is known for preserving an ancient laurel forest formed during the Miocene period and still holding the humid conditions that once covered southern Europe. With a relatively small area, yet hosting more than 800 plant species and over 150 endemic ones, the region is considered a rare evolutionary hotspot of the Atlantic. It also retains a unique cultural trace through a whistled language used for long-distance communication, perfectly suited to its deep valleys and still practiced today. Constant moisture allows more than 70% of the rocky surfaces to be covered by moss lichens and ferns, creating a continuous green layer. Ancient basalt foundations provide stable conditions, enabling this ecosystem to persist and evolve in isolation for millions of years. Its exceptional preservation makes Anaga a living remnant of prehistoric European forests, offering insight into landscapes that once shaped the continent. Few people expect Capitol Reef National Park to hide a massive earth fold stretching nearly 160 miles and dating back more than 50 million years in the dry Utah desert. The entire area reveals towering red sandstone cliffs, white dome-like formations, and rock layers, preserving tens of millions of years of geological history. Continuous strata formed through multiple geological periods provide a natural record that helps humans understand ancient environmental change. In 1971, its unique geological value earned official national park status, allowing long-term preservation and research. Cliff faces rising about 400 to 500 feet are divided by deep, narrow fractures, creating the impression of a massive natural wall. This blend of geological depth and striking forms makes Capitol Reef a frequent subject in documentaries about the geology of the American Southwest. Teide National Park is defined by a massive volcano rising about 12,188 feet, creating a dry, high-altitude landscape whose colors shift strongly with the light. The volcanic structure developed after a caldera collapse more than 170,000 years ago, leaving basalt and trachyte layers that record a long eruptive history. Across the park, ash fields, dark lava, and walls between 6 and 15 feet high appear beside narrow rock towers only 2 to 3 feet wide, shaped by wind and volcanic materials. The ancient Guanxi viewed the summit as a sky axis, while European expeditions later used its height for atmospheric and geomagnetic studies. The high-elevation ecosystem supports more than 40 plant species adapted to dry conditions and volcanic minerals. Visitors describe standing near the ancient lava fields as feeling like being on another planet because the landscape's colors change constantly with the light. Las Gachas is a shallow stream flowing over red sedimentary rock where the surface contains hundreds of natural circular holes with diameters from 1 to 10 feet. These holes reach depths of about 5 feet, and the fast-moving, shallow water keeps them cool, clear, and highly oxygenated. Since the 19th century, early records have described Las Gachas as a strange river filled with unexplained holes, turning it into a long-standing local mystery. Dozens to hundreds of repeated holes line the stream bed, creating a dense pattern that makes the landscape resemble a distant planetary surface. The dark red rock, combined with perfectly rounded pools, forms strong visual geometry, making Las Gachas one of the most distinctive minimalist photography sites in Colombia. Las Gachas strongly attracts photography enthusiasts because the red stone and repeating circles create a powerful composition that is very easy to capture in minimalist style. Simpson Desert is a huge red sand sea in Australia, famous for the longest parallel dune system on Earth, running for more than 350 miles without interruption. This desert holds more than 1,100 parallel dune lines arranged in even rows, forming one of the largest and clearest sand networks known to science. The bright red color comes from a hematite coating on each grain of sand, oxidized under long-term, hot-dry conditions, so the tone stays very stable. Its name honors Alfred Simpson, who funded early 20th century expeditions that mapped the desert and recorded the structure of this harsh environment. The parallel dunes remain straight, measuring about 1/3 of a mile to 1 mile wide, and repeating hundreds of times like red bands drawn across the land. Extreme heat, strong winds, and the absence of fixed tracks turn Simpson Desert into a serious test for travelers who want to push their navigation and endurance skills. New Caledonia, formed on a geological plate more than 820 million feet old, and keeps rare ancient layers from the old Gondwana continent. About 1/3 of its surface is made of supermafic rock, rich in nickel, magnesium, and iron, creating the red soil and supporting nearly 25% of global nickel reserves. Its lagoon covers more than 9,270 square miles with shallow, clear water that makes coral lines visible from above. Inland salt lakes with high mineral levels reflect unusual colors, shifting from turquoise to pale purple, depending on the time of day. The surrounding water is very clear, so even light swimming lets visitors see layers of tropical fish moving across hundreds of miles. Diving is the island's most famous experience because long coral systems and clear water give visitors a simple, direct view of the underwater world. Rock Islands is a cluster of more than 400 mushroom-shaped limestone islands set in deep blue water and known for their unique forms and bright turquoise color. The surrounding marine ecosystem contains more than 700 fish species and about 400 coral species, making the area one of the strongest biodiversity centers in the Pacific. Many local traditions speak of sea spirits living among the stone formations, showing that Rock Islands carries deep spiritual meaning alongside its natural value. The islands have forested tops and narrow wave-carved bases, shaped over thousands of years, so they resemble giant stone mushrooms rising above the sea. Water is clear enough for visitors on boats to see coral reefs directly below, creating the feeling of floating above a transparent ocean. This exceptional clarity allows visibility beyond 100 feet, making Rock Islands an ideal site for remote sensing studies and coral research. Detwa Lagoon stands out as the first Ramsar site in Yemen, covering about 1 square mile, with saltwater shallows, white sandbars, and limestone cliffs that still feel untouched. Ancient limestone toward the east was lifted by tectonic forces, while constant ocean carving exposes clear geological layers across the lower slopes. Fiwek, seagrass meadows across the lagoon floor, work like a natural nursery for young marine life and help stabilize the entire coastal ecosystem. Through this mix of ancient rock active wildlife and constantly moving coastal forms, Detwa remains one of the clearest examples of how nature still evolves beyond human control. Bay of Fires delivers a striking first impression with bright orange lichen covering granite rocks, creating a surreal coastline with unusually sharp color contrast. This orange layer is produced by natural organisms that survive for hundreds of years and reflect sunlight strongly, making the rocks look almost painted. The white shoreline comes from highly pure silica grains similar to crushed quartz, reflecting intense light and creating a bright glare during clear sunny days. Touching the orange granite reveals a mild, warm sensation because the lichen holds heat, forming a curious contrast with the cool, transparent water around the coast. Stone tools, bones, and fire traces found in the dunes indicate that this area served as a long-term shelter and living space for indigenous communities over thousands of years. These powerful colors, ancient materials, and cultural layers combine to make Bay of Fires one of the most distinctive coastal landscapes in Australia. Thongyaki Bang is a limestone national park recognized by UNESCO, where a massive continuous karst block forms one of the most unusual geological structures of the Truong Son Range. The limestone area covers roughly 770 square miles in Vietnam and connects with a similar area across the border, creating one of the world's largest intact karst regions. Large sinkholes dropping hundreds of feet appear inside the forest, like giant open shafts, exposing weakened cave roofs and hidden layers of vegetation below. Only a few miles from nearby villages, the landscape shifts suddenly into steep limestone walls, dense forest, and broken terrain that feels sharply different. These landforms combine with the humid climate to support more than 150 mammal species and over 300 bird species, including many rare ones. The mix of ancient karst tropical forest and high biodiversity gives this area long-lasting natural value and a unique place in Vietnam's environment. Lake Toba is the largest volcanic lake on Earth, formed by a supervolcano eruption about 74,000 years ago, considered one of the strongest in global history. When you stand on the caldera rim and look down at the deep blue water, you feel the massive scale of a collapsed volcano shaped like an inland ocean. The giant caldera stretches nearly 60 miles, with depths in many areas exceeding 1,800 feet, creating a landscape that feels endlessly open. Its dark glass-like water reflects the great depth and ancient volcanic structure, making the lake resemble a huge gem placed among surrounding mountains. Archaeological findings show humans lived around the lake for tens of thousands of years, turning this region into an important ancient settlement. In 2023, Lake Toba received UNESCO Global Geopark status, recognizing its exceptional geological and historical significance. Shibam stands in the Yemeni desert as a 500-year-old vertical city where hundreds of mud brick towers create a skyline that challenges ordinary intuition. Here you can see 5 to 11-story structures packed tightly together, forming a continuous facade that rises like a giant landmark above endless golden sand. Its vertical design was developed to escape sudden floods from nearby mountains, turning soft, sun-dried mud bricks into a durable and effective survival system. Nearly 500 earthen towers reaching dozens of feet make Shibam the oldest high-rise mud city on Earth and a defining model of desert architecture. Each building divides its levels for living storage and livestock, showing a rare three-layer lifestyle that few traditional cities still maintain. Across centuries, Shibam has remained a prototype for Arabian tower houses, proving the strong adaptability of its people in a harsh, natural environment. Ojos del Mar emerges on a high desert plateau where deep blue pools hold extremophile microbes that survive in water far saltier than the ocean. Beneath the clear surface, active stromatolite structures grow slowly, forming layers similar to ancient microbial systems that helped create oxygen on early Earth. Intense sunlight at high altitude reflects strongly off white salt crusts, making the water glow with a vivid turquoise color that feels almost engineered. Studies show that salt-loving bacteria continue functioning despite strong UV exposure, large temperature swings, and extreme salinity that would kill most organisms. For visitors, the silent view of bright blue water in the middle of a salt desert creates an experience that feels beyond logic and deeply connected to primordial life. Gol de la Alcantara begins as a deep volcanic corridor where young basalt formed several thousand years ago cracked instantly when hot lava met cold water. Its walls rise about 66 to 98 feet, while narrowing to 7 to 16 feet, creating a compressed channel that exposes basalt layers arranged with near mechanical precision. Many columns bend at angles of 20 to 30 degrees, showing the pressure the cooling magma endured, leaving deformation patterns rare among global basalt fields. Cooling rates, estimated at 5 to 10 degrees per minute, produced sharp linear textures across the rock, marking the lava's rapid thermal contraction. Water erosion carved 2 to 6 inch grooves along the surfaces, offering a clear timeline of long-term linear abrasion. Together, these elements make Gol dell'Alcantara a living geological record where firewater and tectonic forces sculpt a remarkably complete basalt gorge. Tottori Sand Dunes lies along the western coast of Japan as a massive sand formation created over thousands of years by strong waves, powerful winds, and continuous sediment flow. Shifting winds, low humidity, and wide dry surfaces carve sharp ripple patterns that appear similar to detailed terrain scans made by advanced three-dimensional tools. Some dunes rise more than 160 feet, giving the entire area the rare appearance of a coastal desert in a humid country like Japan. Long-term research shows the sand here moves seasonally, with certain sections changing height by more than 3 feet every year. For visitors standing on the dune crest, while wind sweeps across the wide golden surface, creates a surreal moment that reveals survival and motion in harsh environments. When you first see Rio Tinto, you face a blazing red river more than 62 miles long, with ultra-acidic water near pH 2 resembling a freshly cracked Martian landscape. Dissolved iron hundreds of times higher than normal rivers turns the flow from blood red to bright orange and even purple within only a few hundred feet. Oxidation sculpts sharp metallic shapes along the banks, making visitors feel as if they are walking inside a living geological laboratory. Remarkably, more than 60 acid-loving microbes survive here, proving that life can adapt to conditions once considered impossible by science. NASA and ESA use Rio Tinto's chemical and microbial data as a reference model for Mars research, linking this river to the search for extraterrestrial life. The rare mix of ultra-acidic water-rich metals and resilient microbes has made Rio Tinto a global symbol of natural environments almost unknown on Earth. Mount Bromo rises on an ancient volcanic plateau, with a crater more than 2,600 feet wide and nearly 650 feet deep, resembling an exposed well of ash. Thick sulfur smoke continuously escapes and drifts across a vast ash valley, stretching for dozens of miles, forming a boundary between cold air and rising heat. The Tengja people view the summit as sacred and maintain a tradition of offering items into the crater to preserve harmony with natural energy. Seismic monitoring records between 80 and 1. Shifting colors driven by depth and minerals distort spatial perception, especially when boats follow the tight channels between vertical rock faces. Moving through these towering walls allows travelers to feel the unusual scale and long natural history hidden inside this singular canyon region. Peninsula de las Rocas begins as a surreal stone valley on a plateau above 13,120 feet, where flat desert suddenly rises into isolated volcanic towers. Ancient volcanic and sedimentary layers, once spread across hundreds of square miles, were uplifted by Andean forces, creating a rigid base for wind and temperature to carve their edges. Many rocks balanced on narrow supports reveal contrasts in hardness that generate shapes challenging ordinary intuition about natural stability. Extreme altiplano dryness allows views stretching for many miles, turning each rock into a solitary landmark on an empty horizon. Peninsula de las Rocas becomes a place where wind time and stone collaborate to form a raw landscape that pushes reality beyond expectation. Anaga Rural Park is an ancient volcanic landscape where 7 to 9 million-year-old basalt was carved by Atlantic winds and mist into sharp ridges, deep ravines, and a rare prehistoric forest. Its Laurisilva cloud forest, dating back over 20 million years, survives thanks to Alisios winds that maintain humidity near 90% and sustain ancient plant rhythms. Island isolation allowed more than 800 native species to evolve, independently turning Anaga into a natural laboratory where time and climate shape a unique ecosystem. Knife-edge ridges and thick moss layers reveal thousands of days of passing clouds, storing moisture far beyond the region's actual rainfall. Archaeological traces of the ancient Guanche people show the forest once served as a sacred refuge where nature and culture coexisted for centuries. The convergence of forest, cloud, and mountain creates a symbolic sense of a land where time, memory, and nature unite into a single presence. Rock Island's Southern Lagoon, a floating limestone maze in the Pacific where more than 400 mushroom-shaped islands spread across roughly 386 square miles. These islands are remnants of ancient coral reefs, uplifted and carved by waves, tides, and microbes, revealing a fossilized seascape shaped over thousands of years. Many formations connect to the seafloor by narrow pillars, showing contrasts in rock hardness that create shapes seemingly against natural stability. Turquoise water, shifting with depth, reflects layered limestone bands turning the lagoon into a giant geological color field floating in open ocean. In 2012, UNESCO recognized the site for its more than 385 coral species, 700 fish species, and rare marine lakes used in global research. Rock Island's southern lagoon thus becomes a rare space where stone, water, and time assemble a primordial landscape, challenging every familiar measure of natural beauty.